Hey guys, welcome back. This is JJ. In this video, I'm going to show you kind of step by step for me to build this Tamiya Ducati bike 1199 Panigale S. So as I mentioned before, I bought this kit twice. So the first box, I'm just going to build it straight out from the box without any coloring, any details, and I also won't be applying the water transfer. So it is as straightforward as cutting out the parts from the plastic molding, glue them together, and that's about it. So far I have already completed step 1 and step 2, which is just the construction of the engine block. And the tools that I used for the quick build is as simple as using a pair of cutter to get the parts out from the plastic molding. You also need a tweezer or some sort to help you handle the very small parts. You also need a craft knife to basically help you trim the plastic parts that has been cut out with the cutter to give you a smoother finish. I also use my own screwdriver, but you could always use the one provided inside the Tamiya kit, which is this orange screwdriver, but it is a bit small for my hand, so I just use my own. And then obviously you need some glue, or I chose to use Tamiya extra thin cement, and just a small container to hold all the little bits of extra plastic that I cut out from the plastic parts. So far, as I mentioned, I have finished step 1, which is the main engine block with the engine covered, as well as step 2, which is some exhaust piping, as well as the actual exhaust pipe. So what it looked like is this. As you can see, this is the primary color that came inside the model kit. This is just white, the metallic gray, and solid black. And the construction of step 1 and 2 are pretty straightforward. I think the only slightly more tricky thing to do is when I was putting that small black part, I would need the tweezer to help me handle that small black plastic part in order to fit it into the center nicely. And then the other thing is there's 2 screws on each side of the exhaust pipe. There's one there and there's one there. They're very small, and it is good to use a screwdriver with magnetic tips so you don't lose your screws that easily. And also when you're tightening the screw, be extra careful not to over tighten it, because you might potentially crack the thin piece of plastic. So just watch from the side profile to see the screw going in. As soon as you see the screw is sitting flush to the plastic parts, then stop, and that is more than enough to hold the parts together with the tiny little screw. Another part that was a little bit tricky to put on is this little bit of pipe. So that is just one tiny little part, and if you have got big fingers, then you might want to use a small tweezer or a prier to help you to put this bit of pipe in the correct position. And the rest of the engine block construction is very straightforward. This solid black part, I think, is supposed to be the cooling coil. It is just resting on a slanted surface, so you just mainly have 3 points of contact. But it is secure. So what I will do now, I'm going to continue with step 3 and step 4 off camera, and then I will come back to the video to show you the progress before I will continue to step 5 and 6. So I'll see you guys in a few minutes. Okay, so after another 20 minutes to half an hour, I have completed step 3 and step 4. So basically, step 3 and 4 are just to install the frame, which is the solid black part, and there's also a sleeve that has been installed where your front suspension fork would go through, and also it installed the front or the main radiators, and then there's also some pipe work as well. It's the same on the other side. So that's in part 3 and 4, and there's also this solid white part which is on the back side of the radiator, which you could see there is a fan as well. Oops. There you go. So frame and the radiator and the extract fan outlet is on stage 3 and 4. It's not difficult. There's another 2 screws that has been installed during step 3. Inside this sleeve you need to insert a small poly cap, and there's a reminder there telling you not to use cement or glue to fix it, so you just pop it in and then put the sleeve in, and that is all. And then on step 4, the only tricky part is installing those 2 pipe work, which are this one and that one. It's a little bit fiddly, but if you do it slowly you can get it perfectly fitted. And also on the underside of the exhaust there is also a screw fitted as well, which is that one. So you just need to screw it in really gently, and then as soon as you notice the screw is sitting flush to the surface, then stop. Otherwise you might end up cracking the thin plastic. So that's step 3 and 4 completed. I shall proceed to procedure 5 and 6, and then I'll come back to you guys again.